Hi everyone. I think I might be like 1 minute late. Let me check 2 minutes late. So you can comment below during this webinar. So if anybody's here, tell me you're here and you can see me. This is actually the first time that I'm ever doing this in an event because Facebook just launched this new feature. And so it's my first run and you guys are a part of it. So I'm really excited you're here and I am just gonna start. So I see Teresa's here. Hi, Teresa. Really happy to have you here. So once this webinar is done, it's recording now and it's going to be loaded into the group. So if you hop in late, you can go back and look at it. And if you missed it completely, you can go back and watch it. So with that being said, I am going to get started. So I'm Lori Wright and I am a Beachbody coach and I invited you here or somebody from my team invited you here. So I'm going to start by telling my story, and I wanted to start because many of you probably saw a post I did that led you to my website that had a little bit of the story in it. And so for context on this call, I wanted to share that because some people who are here might not have come through that path. They might have come through a different path. So I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about my story. So I took a chance late in life, and now I'm living the life I've dreamed of. It took a bit of courage, a feeling in my gut, and a heck of a big old leap of faith. But here I am at 57, living with my soulmate and doing work that I am passionate about to my core. I don't know where you are in life. You may be happy as a lark, and if you are, yay, that is awesome. I applaud you. You are one of the lucky ones. But if you are not where you want to be, you need to figure it out now. Do not waste another minute of your life not being super passionate about who you are with and what you are doing every single day. I left my 25-year marriage because I knew there was more. I left my 27-year career because I knew there was more. Was it scary? Hell yeah. Was it a risk? Oh my God, yes. Was it worth it? There are not even words to describe how much. I remarried at 50. I started a brand new career at 55. I'm happier than I've ever been. I have friendships that I've never would have had. I'm a better person than I ever was. I figure I have another good 40 years left in me, and I have no intention of slowing down. My work has just begun, and I am completely fulfilled. If anything about this message makes you think twice, maybe it's the whisper you are waiting for. Why did it land in your newsfeed today? Why were you scrolling your newsfeed right when it was there? Why have you read this far? Before you dismiss the fact that you are now here reading this and something about it is resonating with you, think about it. It might be the impetus of a new life for you. I'm looking for people who are interested in changing their lives, both physically and mentally. If that's you and you'd like to learn more, hear more, then join me at this webinar. So if you're here, then that's really the heart of it. You know, what I said is the heart of it. And what you will always get from me is real. I am as real as they get. So, you know, my story, a lot of times when I tell my Beachbody story, I begin from kind of when I started the program. And tonight I want to go back further because, you know, a lot of where we are today didn't start 2.5 years ago. It started when we were kids. And so for me, I was a fat teenager. My mother had anorexia and I didn't know it till many years later, but she overfed her 2 children. And one day, and this is in the days before, in the 70s, early 70s, I think Jack LaLanne was on TV, but you know, we really didn't have, you know, people weren't working out. People weren't being physically fit. It just wasn't a thing. And so one day I just decided there was something wrong. I was a freshman in high school and all my friends were getting asked out and having boys interested them and I wasn't. And so one day I decided to weigh myself and I remember looking at the scale and I'll never ever forget. I was in our spare bathroom. We had this yucky yellow linoleum tile and I remember looking down and seeing 142. And at the time I was about 5'5", and I had just turned, let's see, it was 1972. So I had just turned 13. So I just started thinking maybe I need to lose a little weight. And so about the same time, I started taking an interest in horseback riding, and I started coming home from school and riding, and I wasn't going right to the refrigerator and eating. So I lost 30 pounds, and I went back to school in September, and everybody couldn't believe it. And I remember thinking, people were like, wow. And I remember thinking, I didn't feel different. I mean, my clothes were looser, but I didn't feel like that I was that different. And so from that day forward, I probably had an unhealthy kind of, self-image about my weight, and I never, ever wanted to gain weight again. And for that reason, I always maintained that weight. And maybe not in the right ways, honestly. And as I grew up, I started getting more into like working out. When I got to college, one of my roommates liked to do that. I was like, what's that? Weights? What do you do? And so I had 2 daughters, and I actually gave them kind of a bad body image because I was always worried about their weight. I was always worried about them gaining weight. And so, but I also say that I was kind of the person that always wanted to lose 10 pounds, that every woman wants to lose 10 pounds, right? So then and I was in a marriage that, I don't want to get into too much detail about it, but I did talk about it a little bit in my on my website that some people read. And when I got married, I actually loved somebody else. And I didn't think that the somebody else was right for me. And so when I met my ex-husband, he seemed like the right guy. He seemed like he would be a good father. He would be a good husband. And I remember when I married him, I thought about that other person, but I stayed with my plan, and I married that other person, and we had 2 beautiful children, and we were happy for a long time, but we were happy like brother and sister happy. We weren't happy like husband and wife soulmate happy. And so over the years, we just lived together. And I say we had a great family business because we were great at being mom and dad, but we were real not good at being husband and wife. And so I never forgot that someone, and long story, but we reconnected and we ended up getting married. And so I've been married almost 7 years to him. We've been together almost 10 years. And the reason why I bring that up is because I want to talk about my career now. So my career, my mom was an English teacher. My dad was a history teacher. So what do you think Lori's going to do? Her sister became a teacher, her older sister. So Lori's going to become an English teacher, right? And I remember I wanted to be a social worker. I had this passion for helping people. And I remember my mother said, you're not going to make any money at that. That's depressing work. And so I thought, well, okay, I'll just teach. You'll have at least a good retirement. So I fell into teaching. I actually never became a full-time teacher. I became a substitute, and I had a class for 9 weeks, and I hated it so much. I was like, I'm not doing this. So I went to waitress, and through waitressing, I kind of fell into a receptionist job, which then led to you started doing technical writing for a firm because of my English background. And then that led me into project management because I'm really a lot about lists and to-dos and schedules. And so I became a project manager at a software company. And that led me to AOL, and I had a career at AOL. And so I really loved my job because I liked the diverse people, and as a project manager, you help people. You bring a group of people together, and you work on a mission, and you help finish that project. And so a lot of what I like to do was kind of bundled in that. And so for a long time, I was really happy doing that, 27 years. And so fast forward to I was 54, and it was in the fall, and my youngest daughter had just gotten married, and my clothes were getting tight, and I was feeling I remember my arms. I was really self-conscious about my arms. They were getting really flabby, and I always liked, tight arms, like just nothing too muscly. But so my oldest daughter had 2 babies, and she had a lot of weight to lose. And so she ended up doing a Beachbody program, and she was dead broke. Her husband had lost her job. She had lost her job, and that's a whole nother story. But anyway, she signed up as a coach, and so I joined her challenge group to support her. So I ended up, I fell in love with T25. That was my first program, and the reason why I liked it so much was because it made things so much easier. I had a really busy life. I've always been somewhat of a workaholic, and so I ended up, 25-minute workouts in my basement. How easy. I mean, I didn't have to, I was going to the gym, I was doing the same old machines, and I was getting tired of them, and I was getting tired of the same old playlists that I was listening to. And I started drinking Shakeology. And so Shakeology changed my life. That drink changed my life. And so, I wanted to support my kid. I didn't know that it would change my life too. So I started in November. Over the holidays, I lost 10 inches. I got down a size. I was wearing 8s, but I should have been in 10s. All my 8s were like, major muffin top. And so I ended up, all my 8s started fitting. I dropped to a 6. I started another program. But in that course of things, I knew that I wasn't going to stop drinking Shakeology. Shakeology, I had always constipation issues. As you can imagine, my mom being an anorexic, she never really taught us how to eat right. So, the bottom line, it was really more of a nutritional issue for me, which I never realized. And when I started drinking Shakeology, it gave me all the nutrition I needed, and it had probiotics and prebiotics. And so I just started pooping every day. And it might sound silly and too much information, but the truth is that I was a regular person. I would have these debilitating stomach aches. And so those all went away. So after I finished my first month of Shakeology, I knew that I was going to continue with it. And you get a discount. As a coach, you get a discount. So my daughter approached me and said, "Mom, guess what? There's this great discount." And so if you're my age, you are familiar with probably Shackley, Amway, all of the things that, Pampered Chef, all of these Nerium is the latest. So, and I had just been to a Nerium party and was really turned off. And so when she said you can get a discount, I told her that is very sketchy. I was not nice to her. She was in my kitchen. I said, that is the sketchiest thing. I am not going to do that. That's what these companies do. They hook you and then they charge you extra and whatever. So anyways, so she kind of went away with her tail between her legs, and another month went by, and I could afford it. I was making 6 figures. I could afford the Shakeology. So she came back like a month later, and I remember sitting on the couch, and she said, "Mom, it's really just a discount. You get a discount. You don't have to pay any extra. There's no obligation to continue to buy anything. You can cancel anytime. You can change your ship date. You can change your flavors." So I was like, okay, I'll sign up as a coach for the discount. And so that was kind of funny. A lot of people do that. And I would say within a couple of weeks, I started to realize the opportunity. And for me, the opportunity was more about, it was freedom for me. So even though I was a 6-figure earner, I didn't know when I could quit my job. I was 54 years old, and I felt like I am going to be sitting here for the rest of my life at this cubicle doing this job that I'm not really passionate about. I liked my job, just like I liked my first husband. I liked them. I didn't love them. I wasn't passionate about them. They didn't make me just want to cry. And so that's the analogy I want to use, is it's so similar that I found my soulmate in a man, and I found my soulmate in a job. And so that is what I want to share with the world. So, and it's not for everybody. I mean, people who love their accounting jobs might not like to be a coach. So, it's not for everybody, and I understand that, but I want to share it. And what I do know is for everybody is the programs, because they're awesome, and you can lose weight. And I have had, hundreds of, case studies now, personal ones that I've worked with people. So I made that decision in January 2 years ago that I was going to be all in, and I was going to work this, and I was going to, my reason for doing it was so I could have the freedom. By the time I was 60, I wanted to be able to be traveling with my husband. I wanted to be able to be enjoying what I want to do. And I wanted a job that I could do for the rest of my life that I didn't want to retire from. I mean, isn't that the idea? I think retiring is, a lot of people die after they retire because they miss that day-to-day interaction with the people they worked with. And I wanted that. I really wanted that, passionate thing that I never really had a hobby. My hobby was my kids. And so that's how I got into Beachbody. I mean, it's kind of a long story, but I think it's very important to start from the beginning to understand. And I also want to tell you that everyone has a story, and everybody's story is unique. And so that's a big part of coaching, is that, really understanding your story and what led you here, and then sharing that with people, because that makes you who you are. And the great thing about this job is it's all about your uniqueness and sharing that with the world, and connecting with those people that connect with your story. And so I started Beachbody in January alongside of my daughter, and fast forward to today, I quit my corporate job last June 30th. I left, and I haven't replaced my six-figure income. I always am very honest about that, and I like to tell people that. But I have by the end of this year, I will actually have surpassed. So the projections are all lining up. And so I'm really excited about that. And I'm already planning, my daughter, I don't know if you saw on Facebook, but my oldest daughter, who has my grandchildren, just left today to move to Charleston, 7 hours away from me. So one of my first goals, one of my first income goals is to have a part-time place down there so I can be there more often. So anyways, okay, so a little bit about what's going to happen. I told you my story. I'm going to try and keep this to 30 minutes. I'm going to talk about what I do each day, how we make money as coaches. I'm going to talk about a pyramid scheme, because some people think this might be a pyramid scheme, and I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to talk about how you build a team, if that's what you want to do as a coach. It's not something that you have to do as a coach. And then talk about next steps after that. I'm going to actually just scan through. I am so excited. Hi, people. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so if you have a question, throw it out there, and if I notice it, I'll answer it. And if I don't, hi, Peyton. And if I don't notice it, at the end, I'll scroll through and look for your questions. Okay, so what I do each day. Well, first of all, I get up so excited in the morning because I love my job. And I've actually been setting my alarm. I went for a while not setting my alarm, and I was like, yeah, I don't have a job. I don't have the job that I go to the 9 to 5. So I was kind of sleeping in, but I started meeting in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning with a group of coaches, and we work together for like an hour on our businesses. And it's one of the great things about Beachbody is this like sisterhood that you have of all these other people that you never knew before but become your best friends. And it's all virtual, and so you like when you meet each other for the first time in person, it's like, but you kind of know each other because you've been on these video calls with them. So I get up really excited, and I drink my shake, and I get so excited to drink my shake. I used to drink it in the afternoon when I was working my full-time job because it helped me with energy in the afternoon. But now I just want it first thing. And then I do my workout. I usually do my workout in the morning. I find for me, it works better that way. I used to do it in the evening when I worked. And then I get on the computer and I touch base. So I'm always running challenge groups. And what a challenge group is it's a virtual online fitness accountability group. And I usually do 30-day ones. I do 60-day and 90-day on occasion. But I'm running a 60-day one right now. But I am starting a 30-day one next week. And what they do, it's basically an accountability group. It's like saying, hey, you want to go to the gym, but instead you do your own workout at home when it's convenient to you, and then you check into the group. So you do your flex, or you do your silly face, or whatever you want to do. You don't even have to do a selfie if you don't want to. You just check into the group, whether you're on your phone or your computer, and you say, I finished my workout. You also confess. If you like had a bad day. A couple weekends ago, I had like a 3-day, I went on a weekend wedding and totally fell off the tracks with my workouts and my diet. And so I just like confessional time in the group. So it really helps keep us on track. And so in the groups, your coach gives you information. I share meal plans. I share motivational tips. I share videos. So you learn a lot, and you hopefully have a life-changing experience. My goal is for you to have the life-changing experience that I had. So, and you're not done in 30 days. You continue. With me as your coach, you're always welcome in my next group. So if somebody has a lot of weight to lose, they continue into my next group. And hopefully they become a coach, because as a coach, you get the discount and you become more accountable, because as a coach, you have to like kind of be a role model. So coaching really helps with accountability. So then I check in with my challenge groups. I share on Facebook my journey. Like I shared today about my daughter leaving. I was really, really sad. I had a few crying bouts today. I actually took a shower and I put my makeup on, but my eyes are probably still a little red. So, you know, social media has changed everything with network marketing. It makes it so easy to connect with people, because, you know, network marketing is more about relationships. It's not really about products. You know, I can go buy T25 from anybody. There's a number of coaches I can buy it from, but I want to buy it from the person that I've been seeing on Facebook who I connect with. Her personality is good. She is my age. She is funny, or she's, you know, whatever it is that you connect with. She likes butterflies and I like butterflies, or she likes scary clowns. I like to use that example. A lot of people don't like scary clowns. So I, you know, I do the social media. I like think about what I want to, you know, say today on social media. What's the message I want to send out there? And I think that's one great thing about social media too, is that you really have the potential to impact people. If you have a message to share, if you've had some hurdles in life to conquer and you think that could help somebody, and I'm certain it can, then, you know, social media is awesome for that. And so we have training. I just finished a social media boot camp telling people about it. So, and so I, you know, touch base with my coaches. I have a team of coaches. So I usually post something in the group motivational to my coaches. And so I usually go to the grocery store in the middle of the day. I go see my mom who's in an assisted living home. I can do whatever I want. My schedule is mine. So a lot of times I'll work real early in the morning and then I'll have freedom in the afternoon. My husband and I can go to the movies in the middle of the afternoon on Tuesday. He works from home. He's a real estate broker, so he's really flexible too. So, so I, you know, work out, drink my shake, check in with my challengers. It's all virtual and it's all awesome. And so I always, you know, my challengers are really important to me because I want to make sure that they have success. You know, I want to make sure that they have the tools they need and that they have success. So, okay, a couple more people joined. Hi. So how we make money. So basically you make money, there's a great commission structure. You make money initially by selling products. So you sell challenge packs, which is a bundle of fitness program and Shakeology, or you just sell fitness programs individually. But I always try to have people be on Shakeology because it made such a big difference for me. It was so life-changing for me that, and people who are on Shakeology, the people who have had the best results in my groups are the people that are on Shakeology. So I highly encourage Shakeology. And so what you do is you make a lot of retail income in the beginning. And then what you do is you start to build a team, and the people who are making big bucks are the people who have built teams beneath them. And so you're pretty much a CEO of your own business. And so I tell people, because a lot of people are they're a little scared of that, you know, they don't think they're leaders. But what I tell people is that you grow with it. So I was a manager, and so I managed people in the corporate world. When I started coaching and I started building a team, I was like, deer in headlights, you know, and I had managerial experience, but it's a whole new different kind of a job. It's just like any other job. You learn as you go, and you get better with practice. And over time, you become more comfortable, and your people, you know, get better, and you start growing, and you start growing, and you gain confidence. So it's just like kind of practice makes practice makes perfect. So, and we have training. So when I started, my daughter was my sponsor coach, and she just started, and her sponsor coach didn't really know what he was doing. So we kind of learned as we went, and we've built this great structure with training. And so it's really awesome. And so let's see. So as you grow and you grow your team, you start get bonuses on the team that, you know, on what they make. And so one thing that I like to tell people, which I love about Beachbody, is that I do not make a single cent on getting a coach on my team. Zero, zilcho. The only way that I get anything from my coaches, it's kind of like a sales team. The only way I get anything from my team is if they are successful. And if the person on my team who's become a coach just wants the discount, then I support that. Great. You're drinking Shakeology. I think it's wonderful. You're continuing in your fitness journey. But if you want to build a team and you want to start trying to learn how to do that, that's great. And then if you sell challenge packs to friends, I earn a little percentage on that. And if you sell, you know, if you get somebody to come on your team as a coach, I get, you know, that's part of the team volume. There's a formula for team volume and how much you have to have and what the payouts are, but it's kind of complicated, not for this call. So anyways, so what happens is initially it's retail and no bonuses. And then over time, you start, you know, it's like maybe the retail stays the same, but your bonuses start going up. And so eventually, you know, that's where the income comes, is as your bonuses grow, as your team grows. Okay. And just a little nugget, my daughter entered the company number 19 in the company. She was dead broke when she started. She and her husband had lost their jobs. She was desperate. And sometimes desperation is a great motivator. And she has, she's a six-figure earner now. She has made $100,000 so far this year in the first quarter. So she and her husband can live anywhere. They picked Charleston out of every place in the country, and they got to go where they wanted. And so, hallelujah, you know, for them. And I'm really, really proud of her. And I wouldn't say that's normal. She's pretty much a rock star, right? But I think I'm pretty normal. And I'm in my third year, I'm going to get to be a six-figure earner. So Beachbody doesn't guarantee the success of any coach. It's up to your own individual capabilities. And I think the team you're on, because I've met some coaches that aren't on teams where they're supported. I've met people that don't have good sponsor coaches that, you know, so it's important. And, you know, this is my passion. This is where I am. I ain't going anywhere. So, anyways, so I want to address the pyramid scheme thing, because it's funny. Even like people say this still, network marketing is a legit business profession right now. And in the old days, it was kind of like, you know, kind of the people who couldn't succeed in corporate life went there. But I had a call from my team with a ER doctor a couple of nights ago. And what an amazing call that was, to listen to this person who's been in medical. She did her residency at Harvard, and she has spent 12 years. But the reason she wanted to become a Beachbody coach, number one, she had a journey of her own with fitness while she was in residency. And so she fell in love with the programs. And secondly, she said she, as an ER doctor, she only gets like 10 or 15 minutes with patients. And that Beachbody allowed her to actually work with people for longer than 15 minutes. And so she's super passionate, and she's going to be paying off all of her medical debt, for all of her loans that she got for medical school this year. And so anyways, it's kind of a cool story. So anyways, it's a real legit profession, and there's a lot of oversight on the profession now. So they don't allow, tactics that aren't like, that encourage just signing people up. That actually a pyramid scheme is when you have a company where you just recruit people and there's no products involved. And so we have products, we have great products, and we don't reward people for signing people up. So it's kind of like the perfect scenario if you want to be involved with a network marketing company. So how you build a team, it's actually pretty simple. You basically, when you reach out to people and they reach out to you and you put them in your challenge groups, basically what happens is they fall in love with Shakeology and they want the discount, and they usually fall in love with the whole idea of these online groups and want to do their own. I mean, again, it's not for everybody, but it's not hard to get somebody to want to be a coach. And so I always tell people there's three kinds of coaches. There's just a discount coach and they just want the discount, the product discounts. There's a hobby coach and they just want to sell it to their family and friends, real low key. I want to make my money. Like some people might have a hard time affording Shakeology every month if they're on a real limited income. Although I do say that I save money because I don't drink my Starbucks anymore. And my Shakeology, my shake every day is cheaper than my Starbucks was. But, people look at the money and they're like, oh my God. And it's like up front. So you're paying basically for 30 days in advance. So, if people think that they can't afford that extra $100 a month, then they're like, okay, well, if I have 3 friends and I'll put them in your group every month, then that'll cover my actually more than cover my Shakeology. So a couple of people would cover your Shakeology. So the commission structure is very good. So it's pretty easy to build a team. Next steps, if you're here and you're actually interested, right? You're interested. And that's great. And so whether you're interested in like signing up just to get in shape, that is so cool. I can help you do that. And if you have in the back of your mind that you want to be a coach, if you know you want to be a coach, then you should honestly get in the next challenge group and start using the products. A lot of people want to use the products first. So I encourage people, if they have a lot of weight to lose, to go ahead and sign up as a coach, because you're going to need to be on Shakeology for a while. You can cancel very easily. There is no quota every month. There is a $15.95 coaching fee every month, but if you add that to the discount you get on Shakeology, you're still paying about $23 actually in Virginia, because that's with state tax. Other, tax factored in could be a little more or less, $1 here, $1 there. But basically, it's still like $23 less with that $15.95 fee. And with that $15.95 fee, you get tons. You get Success Magazine online, which has a ton of great personal development in it, like great motivational audio and video and articles. And then you get a website. You get access to your back office. So if you're a real coach, you can see your customer orders, you can see all that. Oh, and I forgot, you never ever have to deal with product. The only product that I have in my house is what I'm consuming. So you don't have to like buy a whole huge inventory of anything, and you don't have to do home parties. Home parties, I could never do a home party. I don't want people trying to get out of the party that they have. Oh my God, it's one of those home parties. So I think they're real icky. So, I just feel like the whole Beachbody model is so non-icky. And we really discourage ickiness. We want you to be really like attractive and like, really inspiring to people. So I would say my next challenge group starts on Monday. So my challenge groups are open to all of my coaches and any challengers they have. And so my next one starts on Monday, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna be a really good one. So I will take questions. So I guess I have one question. Did anything surprise anybody of anything that I said? Did I see Leanne? Oh my God, hi Leanne. I can't wait till Wegmans comes here. Leanne's a friend of mine from high school, and she's at Wegmans, and we're gonna get a Wegmans here. Hi Peggy, hi Cindy. I know a few of you guys. Jen, oh my gosh, hi Jen. Jen's dad is so cool. Best coach ever. Basketball coach in high school for my kids. Let's see. So any questions? All right, I guess not. All right, so I'm finished. When I finish this, the video is gonna upload. So if you missed any of it, then you are free to watch it. And please reach out to the coach who invited you here or me, and let's get started with the next steps. All right. Yay, bye.